What up, y'all? This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go. Today, I got a special guest in the building. You're starting to become a regular guest because this is your third time on the show.
All right.
So, if the people have been listening, they know about you, but you can go ahead and give them a little introduction of who you are.
My name is Sean Thomas. I am a educator as well as entrepreneur. I teach middle school math, and I have an after-school program or company called Invest in Yourself. So I teach financial literacy to not only the youth but also this community. So my students, they learn about credit, debt, savings. They invest in the stock market. They start their own businesses, and then in turn, we go and the students actually teach the community themselves. They teach their parents. They teach their friends. So basically, we teach them financial literacy, and everything is project based. So they actually get involved and actually put their foot in it. So
That's what's up, man. I feel like you've been into like money and finance like ever since I've known you, and like it's just funny to hear you 10 years ago talk about buying a boat and now talking about save all this money. Where do you feel like the transition happened for you?
uh, transition as far as what?
As far as just how you view money. Because I feel like, and I could be wrong, but it seems like you definitely look at money in a different way than you did, let's say, like I said, 10 years ago, shit, maybe five, I don't know.
I would say I start looking at it different when I start doing the investing in yourself program,
Yeah.
because I can't really teach something that I'm not really doing myself. You know what I'm saying? So, as you know, like if anybody, like money was your motivation. So like I would do anything, but like, all right, money there, cool, bet I'm there. Um, but managing it was a whole different type of thing. Like I can generate money easily, but what I'm gonna do with it, like it'd be gone. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking about necessarily investing or saving or nothing like that. I was just trying to keep up with whatever was going on, so and that, you know,
Yeah. How much did having a child affect your finances? Like as far as like how you handle your finances?
uh, I think really didn't affect it too much, honestly, because me and my wife was in a good situation already. You know what I'm saying? As far as how we handling, it made us think different. I gave you that, but we handle money pretty well. So um, it wasn't a big, how people like babies are expensive. This. Like, I mean, not if you plan for it, so they're expensive if well, she had a baby stage, so maybe we start getting programs and stuff like that, maybe expensive, but um, we plan for it, we budget for it, and you may, um, just I'm not really a materialistic person, so I didn't really miss out on too much. But she actually having a child actually helped me think even further about, okay, I want to leave something for her. I want to see how she manages money. I want to teach her how to do it. I want to make sure that she has money like set for her, not like um, her have to struggle. Like, remember I told you I wanted to, by the time she turned 21, she'll have $100,000 cash for her waiting, do whatever she want. And that's the goal right now, so that she can live whatever lifestyle that she want to. She want to travel, go to school, whatever she want to do.
Yeah. Shit. As a parent, what do you feel like with your finances should be like the biggest focus? Because I know that you build that for her, but I know you've also done work in getting out of debt. I know you're doing work in saving. I know you're doing work in investing. But for somebody that has like zero knowledge on any of that, like what would be the starting place?
Starting places to get to the point where to have some money or
Yeah.
to save.
As far as like, getting out of debt, investing, saving for your child, like what would be the best place to start?
Well, I listen to Dave Ramsey a lot, and it's funny. I always heard the name, but I listened to him, but I really started listening to him in the past like year or two. Um, but the main thing would be to first like if possible, get yourself out of debt. But in order to do that, you have to really look in the mirror and, you know, and figure out, why am I in debt? What's the reason? All right, student loans, everybody got that, right? So I'm not even counting that. I'm talking about everything else. All right, so why do you have these credit card bills? Why um, the car that you got? You know, how much are you paying per month? The place that you live in, right? You have to figure out, why am I in this situation? Is it because I can't control my spending? Is it because I don't make enough? Like, what is it? Am I living above my means? Right? So you have to look in the mirror and be real with yourself. Like, why do I have these things? You know, can I really afford these clothes? Can I really afford this car? Am I doing it for me, or am I doing it for the look? And if I'm doing it for the look, that's stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I gonna live in debt for some people that I don't even know? Or if I do know, but I'm gonna be broke because of them, like, that don't make no sense.
Yeah. And
A lot of us like that though.
it's funny though, because I feel like a lot of people don't even really know about like budgeting or any of that type of shit. And
Nah.
and like as you were talking, I was like, man, it's kind of a lot of shame tied into like letting people know about your finances, like especially if you don't manage them well, like to
It is.
share with somebody like, hey, this is how much money I got in the bank right now. Like, what can I do, or what's this? Like, I don't
Right.
like we have many of those conversations, and I know for you, I'm sure a lot of people talk to you about investing, but how many people really reach out to you to like get out of debt and shit?
Actually, recently, like, you know, people like reached out to me like about budgeting, like, you know, a couple friends and a couple old classmates and things reached out about budgeting because, you know, they would make a significant amount of money, but they just know that they got enough to pay whatever. Like, they don't necessarily see where it's going. They're not really budgeting toward a specific goal. They just know they got enough to cover. So, but budgeting is not something that's taught. Like, again, I teach math, I teach middle school. Financial literacy is a part of our curriculum, but they do it at the very end, and it's like 2 weeks worth. And it's even after they take the state test. So it's like, it's not really pushed. And even in high school, like, you know, it's not really something that's the focal point. They make you take all these other courses, that's cool, but it don't really matter in the grand scheme of things when you're talking about, 'cause everybody has to deal with finances. Um, Budgeting is something that people don't like to talk about, like, or don't do, because it's like reality, like it's real, it's stare you in the face. Can I really afford this? I really want this jacket or these shoes, or I really want to eat out every day, right? But if I don't look at my budget, I can live in this false reality is I really have it. Imagine if people didn't have credit cards. Now you don't have a credit card. Can you afford to go out and get that food, that, you know, that meal or that date or that, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is? Like, that's how you have to live. Like, if I can't afford it and I gotta charge it, I mean, I really can't afford it, bro. And you know, I used to do that too all the time, right? And you know, that's not how you supposed to do.
How did you break it?
Got fed up, man. Like, I would say for years, like, I'm gonna pay my credit card down, but I wasn't like, as far as like, okay, I had debt, and how can I pay it down? All right, man, my interest is stupid, right? So you pay it, and the interest come next month. So it's like, man, I ain't even pay nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you just in that never ending cycle. So what I had to do was, you know, basically, well, actually, you know, I always had some money, but COVID actually helped, like, you know, help, you know, as far as like paying bills and, you know, getting out of debt and all that stuff. Like, because if you were lucky enough to have your job, you got extra money. So what you gonna do with the extra money? Pay off debt. Like, ain't no point in buying nothing to get fly, right? Ain't no point in buying nothing to a new whip or something nobody can't see it, you know. So um, just reaching that point and finding any way, any money that I got, boom, I'm paying towards that, right? So to the point now where like 60 to 70% of my money, I save. So I'm really living off like 30%, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as bills and all that stuff. And I don't even like, I pay myself, like, I give myself like $100 to last me for like 2 weeks during this COVID. Cause I'm like, ain't nothing to spend it on. So everything I make, I just put it right into savings or right into investing, and I just live off of. For me personally, like after I put stuff away for sitting in the household and all that, I give myself $100 and I just make it work. I tell everybody I'm broke because I am. I ain't got the five.
That's funny, but that's really dope. And you mentioned COVID, and I wanted to kind of circle around to that because you also mentioned being an entrepreneur. And during this quarantine, you've been doing these investing workshops and just basically teaching people about investing. Can you let the people know a little bit about that and what you're doing?
Well, at one point, well, I still do the classes, but at one point, in April 7th was the first one. Originally, every year me and my students do a stock market workshop where they actually teach the people in the community, how to invest and all that. But of course, of COVID, we couldn't do it. So I had to kind of sit back and figure out, okay, what can I do? So I set a goal in April where I said I wanted to educate 1,000 Black and brown people how to invest in the stock market before August. Right, that was my goal, and that was a goal that I didn't really think if I could reach or not, but that was the goal I set for myself. And it's crazy. Like I do this for free all the time, right, for years, right, the whole time, and I don't like charging people, right? Like I want to do it for free. But when you do stuff for free, people don't see the value in it. So the same thing I'm teaching for free. All right, let me charge 10, right? Boom, everybody want to buy it. Let me charge 20, everybody want to buy it. Cool, like so that was like the thing is crazy. If you put a price on something, people see more value in it. But the same information I was trying to get for free, wasn't really happening as much. But the goal for me was to educate 1,000 Black and brown people, which we did, and for them to learn how to invest into the stock market. All right. Reason being is because I want us to learn how to make our money work for us. Right. I want you to make money while you sleeping. I want it to work for you. This was not taught to us in middle schools, not taught to us in high school, not taught to us as adults, but we know how to we're consumers. We know how to spend our money, right? But let's go ahead and be bosses. Let's go be owners of these Fortune 500 companies or these companies, right? I could buy a pair of Nikes, but I'd rather buy Nike stock. So, and then also like people want to banks aren't bad at all, right? People have to put their money in banks. But if I put my money in the bank, remember we was looking at Chase, the interest they pay you was 1%,
Yeah.
right? But I could buy some stock and the dividends pay me more than that 1%, or the stock can go up today is more than what I would have made for a whole year. So I wanted us to learn how to make our money work for us. And it was very good, very successful. Over 1,200 households came to the event and supported. So now we have 1,200 different households, not just people, households, Black and brown, now investing in the stock market.
That's powerful, man. Because you could have very well, as we talked about greed earlier, but you could have been a greedy nigga with the information and not even shared it. You know what I mean? And just could have been balling out on everybody. What
Nah,
is
that's not.
you want to just like even do it in general?
Well, like I said, I've been doing. You mean like from beginning or just the workshops?
Like, how did you even think like, man, I'm gonna just do workshops and just teach people about stocks and just basically get them in the game?
Well, originally, like I used to my father has, which I'm the chairman of the board now for Exposure Foundation Inc., nonprofit, um, and we focus on financial literacy and many other things, but financial literacy for the minority community. Now, back in 2015, started an after school program. It was called Wall Street Warriors back then, if you remember, because that was a part of what my dad had with Exposure. And we did that for like a year. He had gave me $500 just to start it. for after school program, and like I would use that money to um, help my kids start open bank accounts. You know what I'm saying, and purchase stocks. And I was just like, okay, cool, you know. But then I said, let me do my own thing. So I kind of took that, but kind of put my own spin and did my own thing. And I applied for a grant for State Farm, and it was just like give them an idea. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be dope if my students taught adults how to invest? So I wrote a grant, never did one before, and they gave me 45,000. And I was like, man, cool, So that's what kind of took it off from there. And I get the best feeling because teaching you give yourself, but financial literacy is something that I see our kids have a super interest in, right? Because they can see it. They like money. They like things. They like to see how things work. And people think because they're young, they don't really understand, but they understand more than adults, even at the elementary level. So just seeing that and seeing the impact and seeing my students come back and be like, oh, they start their own businesses or they invest in, and some of them wants to be a broker. You know what I mean? So seeing that, just showing them how to manage money and not make the same mistakes that we do or that we have. And they can change their family, they can change their community. And, with everything going on, like in our society, with, social justice and everything, I like to, like, certain things we can't control, certain things that we want to, make an impact. And for me, I feel the best way for me to impact our community is to teach them financial literacy. All right, because if you can help economics, then you can help us overall. Money is the root of everything that's happening. So if we can control our finances and do everything, then we probably have a better society, at least for us.
That's real, man. Shit. As you were talking, I was thinking about asking you something. What the fuck was I going? I think this drink is starting to kick in a little bit. But
Nah,
I was gonna ask you, man, like who's inspiring you right now? Like, what are you inspired by right now?
uh,
That's what I was gonna ask you, but you can answer that first.
say it again.
I say you can answer that first, but I do remember what my other question was.
Don't forget it.
I'm
Uh, everybody inspire me, man. I'm inspired just by people doing them. Like when I see people like in their lane and being successful with whatever they're doing, like podcasts, I'm inspired by you. I saw somebody today, they were saying that I know he's starting his own charter school. Like, proud of him. Somebody in grad school, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm inspired by people reaching the goals or just keep elevating. Why? And that pushes me. Man, they doing that. What else? I need to get off my butt and I need to do this. So inspiring, and it helps push me. So everybody who I'm around inspire me. If you don't inspire me, uh, then I probably don't need to be around you. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to be like super rich or anything to inspire me, but you have to be kind of chasing something as far as trying to progress in your life or trying to do a goal. And if you don't, then and you're not even trying to, then you don't really need to be, in my circle. Like I don't need that energy. I just need positive energy, people who constantly going, trying to. And that's how I kind of roll.
That's real, man. That's so real. Um, shit.
Got your question again, right?
No, I did not forget it. Damn, what was I gonna ask you? Because I had it in my head. So you said people inspire you. Oh, I know what I was gonna ask you. What is the secret to winning? Because you know that shit. And you may not think that you know that shit, but you know that shit. Because I swear, everything that you have ever applied for, every competition that you have ever competed in, you have won that shit. And I really just want to know, like, what is your mindset like going into these shits? Like, because whatever you're doing is working, and I feel like it can help people for sure.
That's a good question. Well, the first thing is I'm blessed. Like, so I can't, it's God. So he had something preordained for my life. I just got to go and walk in my purpose. Right. So I guess the biggest thing first is just finding what my purpose is in life. right? And I found that. I found that 7 years ago. This is my 7th year teaching.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think the next thing is I truly am passionate about it, right? And it's a combination of I'm passionate about it, and we went to school for marketing. You don't have to go to school for it, but we went to school for sales and marketing, and I like to do promotions. So that combination of being passionate and promoting yourself at the same time helps with any competitions, helps with putting yourself out there. A lot of time,
Don't even be worried though. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you like confidence when you apply to shit? Like some motherfuckers, they be applying to shit, including myself. Like I'm not excluding me from this at all. But like I apply to some shit and I'll be thinking about it all day, thinking about it for days.
I, I'm obsessed with it, bro. I'm obsessed with the process.
You
Like,
just don't say it out loud.
huh?
You just don't say it out loud. Cause you don't always, you're not always vocal about like being concerned about something. Like you'll mention that you apply for it, but you won't be like, damn, like I'm worried about this. I'm thinking about this.
That's because you not my wife. If you my wife, then you just like, what I'm saying? She'll tell you, shut up about it. You know what I'm saying? But I apply for everything, bro. Like, even if it's a long shot, like, because a lot of people just don't apply, right? You know what I'm saying? Or I'm nominated for something or something like that. I'll do the legwork. Let me go ahead and stay up late and do this. Are they right? They want these essays? All right, cool. All right, what's going to set me apart? But I do worry about, not necessarily worry, but I be anxious. Like, let me know what's gonna happen. And I know that I put my
How do
work super.
you get past the anxiety?
I don't. I have anxiety every day, and I think I saw something like a functioning or something like that. I have high anxiety. Like, I'm at a space right now where I'm kind of like, this past couple weeks, I'm kind of like just like not chilling, but not working like 24/7,
Yeah.
right? And I feel weird, right? I think Chandra had told me, she said, you don't function well if you don't have a lot of stuff to do.
Mm.
And a lot of stuff meaning productive, like something that you're reaching at, something that you're like your goals. Like, I have my goals, I have my task list, like I have my yearly goals I showed you before. And then I have my task list that could get those goals. So I keep every day I got something knocking. And then when I get the goal, it's like, all right, what's the next one? Like, so I was talking to my dad the other day. He said the chase is probably more exciting than the actual victory.
So do you feel like you should be shooting higher?
I do.
Okay.
But then it's like, what is that high? Like, what's too high? You know what I mean? Is there such thing?
I don't think there is, man. Because and it's funny you say that because like I was talking to like me and James talk about meditation all the time, and I always think like when I'm doing these manifestation meditations, like what if I'm aiming small? Like what if like me shooting for some earthly shit is small? Like I could be shooting for some universal shit. I don't know. I really don't know what that even looks like, but it's kind of like, man, like what if my goals are really not that big, you know?
And that's how I feel like, Savvy winning. Like, of course, like it's a blessing to win any competition, win any whatever. So I never take it for granted. But that lets me know that I can shoot, higher. So I have to continue to push because I never want to rest on my laurels. You know what I'm saying? I always say that. Like, I don't want to rest on I did that yesterday. That was last month. What am I going to do now? So if I'm shooting, I have to set incremental goals first to reach that master goal, right? So I have master goals in my mind, what I want to see. I can see myself. I see it every single day. So every day I'm working towards it, but what's those steps to get to that? So that's really where I be kind of figured out like, okay, my goal is to be president. Okay, well, what do I have to do in order to be president? Like, where do I have to go? What school I got to go to? Who I have to connect with? What positions do I need to have? So my goal that I know that I have, boom, I know what it is. Now, how do I get there? What steps? because I'm a task-oriented person. So if I know I got to do this, I can knock it out. And, you know, just me trying to figure out how to do it, because for what I'm trying to do, there's really no blueprint.
Yeah.
Like, so I have to create the blueprint, trying to make my own lane, my own whatever. Like I'm in education, so you can go this route, but the route I want to create it.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part, trying to create that lane. So I'm just trying, and y'all, the people who support me, we just, you know, we figuring it out together. So that's it.
I think that's the beautiful part, the journey. Like, you know, sometimes I watch back like these episodes, like where I started, and you know, even like when I started doing the episode we did 6 months, I was living in a fucking bedroom, and now I got my own space, and it's like, okay, like I'm progressing, y'all progressing with me, and we all in this motherfucker together, like
Yeah.
getting it done. But it's beautiful, man. Like it's really dope to see your progression, and it's really dope to see you in the space of like, okay, like what's next? Because I feel like you always know the what's next. Like once you complete something, you already know what the what's next is. But to be in a space of like, okay, what's next? I think it's a beautiful place to explore.
Yeah.
And like I was gonna suggest to you, like even trying like picking up something creative, like start painting or just see what the comes up. You know what I mean? Like
And I love painting. That I realized that what was it beginning of quarantine, or even before that, like painting is the only time where, and I'm not good at all, right? But painting is the only time where my complete focus is on that. I'm not thinking about nothing that's going on, none of my goals, nobody talking. Like I'm just focused on that. So when we used to go to look sip and paint, after the 2 hours or so, I'm like, man, it's over. Like, can we keep going? You know, this is freeing. You know, because like I said, I have high anxiety with trying to continue to elevate, continue to complete stuff. If I'm sitting too long, I feel terrible because I feel like I wasted time, and I want to do this, and if I know I have something to do, how I got time to chill. But you do need that time to chill, but I don't know how to chill. Like I feel lazy. You know what I'm saying?
and that's I'm gonna tell you, man, that's something to break, and it's cool to sit with it though. It's cool to sit with it and feel it, and then to give yourself some room to be like, you know, I think the biggest reminder that I have to remind myself is that I'm in this pandemic too. Like I'm not I'm not separated from everything that's going on in life. Like just like everybody else is going through it, like I'm you got to give yourself permission to go through it.
Right, right. That's very true, and it's hard
Yeah.
to say it's hard to, because again you want to keep that pace. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to figure out, all right, like you may have to pivot, you know, and all right, now I can't do this, but it's good to sit back and just, because when you sit back, you can kind of look at the field, you know what I'm saying, to see where things are going. And sometimes you just need that mental break, like, because you know, people, teachers have summer. I didn't have a summer. I was busy this summer. You know what I'm saying? Like every day almost. You know, so that was, I didn't have a mental break, and then to go right into school, you know, teaching virtually on top of not having a break, it's like, you know, kind of weigh on you a little bit. So you just gotta
Yeah, man.
take this little break, like as far as when I don't have any projects going, and just relax.
Just be. That's all.
Yeah, just be,
I
just be.
did that from August. Like I didn't focus on nothing in August, and maybe like mid-August, I was like, okay, like it's time to start doing something. But I said I wasn't gonna do nothing, so let me stick with what. Let me just as I stick to these commitments of completing these goals, let me stick to this commitment of just being. And you start feeling antsy,
Yeah,
and once you finally like, boom, okay, now I'm ready to shoot. And I feel like I've been shooting all month. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
yeah,
man, take advantage of that time, take advantage of that feeling, like sit in those feelings and let it create whatever is next for you, man. Cause I feel like the opportunity, like, and you already know, like, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me, I'm talking to the listeners, but it's like the opportunities are endless as to what we can create in this
yeah.
life.
And I still wake up at 4:30 every day. So like I'm used to waking up at 4:30 because let me go knock this out while everybody sleep. So, but now if I ain't got no if if I feel like working on nothing, it's like I'm waking up. All right, what do I do with these 2 hours? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just that daily battle of trying to figure that out.
Yeah. As an educator, being that we both educators, what do you feel like teachers should be focused on most right now?
Not the content. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though content is what we are, but we have to first, well, I ain't gonna say not the content. I think we should, it's everything. We have to, the social emotional learning, right? So think about where the kids are. Some people are virtual still, some people are in class. Think about how they handle it. Like kids are going through the pandemic too, right? So we already know how difficult it was before the pandemic for students to sit in the classroom, to learn, um, to just process everything that's going. So now you have kids who got the social justice, they hear all that stuff. You got the regular social media pressures. You got this virtual thing where you don't really like it. You got too much freedom. Your parents at the house, at work, and you over here, or they, so much things going on. So I think our focus should be making learning fun, as I always say. So, of course, you can't really do anything about their household situation. But what you can do is take them out of their current world for that hour that they're with you, or hour and a half, or how long. So let them forget that everything else is around them. Make your lessons interactive, make it fun. If you teach math, make it fun. If you teach English, whatever it is. But I think we should concentrate on trying to take kids out of that world that they're in, right? And whether you're in the classroom, whether you're virtual, like that's what we should focus on. Just however that is, and talk to them. Don't just talk at them. Ask them how their day is. Ask them what they're going through. Ask them how they like to learn. The same stuff, really. I don't think too much has really changed. Like, what I'm saying, as far as you delivering the content, the same, like you delivering information. You just got to change your approach. So I just think that educators, we have to figure out how they like to receive information, realize that we're going to have some people not turning stuff in, just like we have people not turning stuff in if they's in day school. You know what I'm saying? So just be cool.
That's what's up, man. I know you said you're gonna be opening up a school. What does education in the future look like? Like what does it look like to you? You could dream it up.
What I think it's going to be, or what would I want it to be?
What would you want it to
Uh, Two things. Project-based learning, which means if I'm learning about math, okay, let me apply this. Let me like do a project with it, right? And I think even the test at the end, if we have to have state tests, it should be a project, you know what I'm saying? Or something that they have to complete. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a project that takes a year long to do. And then boom, you complete it and have judges like that, not necessarily just a paper. Some people like working with their hands, you know what I mean? So project, what's the question? Project-based learning, and what did I say? What did you say? What was the question?
what would your dream school look like?
Uh, well, it was a different question. No, it was like, what I,
The future of schooling.
okay. So, how would I want it? So, project-based learning, and uh, I think that we should try to figure out kids' gifts and talents at an early age, right? Or even ask them what their interests are. Like I know in other countries, sometimes they make them take a test, and then whatever based on that test is, they push them in that way, like they, like you can't do nothing but that. And I don't want that to happen, but I think we should expose our kids to different things, right? And whatever their interests are, if you like to draw, okay, let's put them in like drawing classes or introduce them to artists. Let them go to showcase, like whatever their interests are, let them experience that. So it should be a lot of field trips. It should be a lot of interaction with people in those fields. It should be just like when you go to summer camps, like school should kind of be like that, where they have a different interests and, you get to introduce them to different things. Like, and then we should kind of like look at the curriculum and see like, even though we want them to be exposed to stuff, like, are they really going to use this? Like, how many people in the world really use the stuff that, we learn in the school? Like, that's what we should look at. Okay, what about the stuff that's now our technology? So there should be a mandate that kids have to code. It should be a mandate that kids have to farm. You know what I mean? If you can, it should be a mandate that kids should know about their really diet and, their health, financial literacy, just everything, sciences and STEM, like, but in a project-based way. We just kind of just teach it as, memorization. But I want our kids to actually apply it, and that's how you remember it. And that's how we gonna impact our kids. Like a lot of people said, like minority students or whatever like that, they scores are low, things of that. It's because they have no interest in it. But if you made it so that they can understand it or it applies to their life, then they'll score higher than everybody else. And, if it's proven, but we just have to figure out what interests them and how to, get them to want to learn and want to be interested in this stuff that, may not matter in the long run.
That's real, man.
What
Yeah.
about you?
You said for me, what do I think? I think really honing in on kids' talents. I agree with you on that. But what do I see the future of schooling looking like? If I could dream it up myself, I would want to see more arts in the schools, and definitely teaching the foundations, but really teaching art as a language,
Mm-hmm.
form of communication. So like, using a painting to express a feeling, or creating a song that's able to express a memory or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Really creating those spaces for like I think art could be used so much for social and emotional learning, and it gets taught as a skill, and that's bullshit because it's all subjective, you know what I'm saying? Like I could play something and you might like it, you could play something somebody else might like it, you know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like we have to stop teaching art as a skill and definitely use it for what it's there for.
Do you? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And you notice like a lot of kids don't like art.
Nah,
No, I won't say they don't like it, but they don't necessarily like art class because it's taught as what you're saying.
yeah, no, it's
I
like
mean,
they don't like music because they feel like they're not good at music. And for me, it's like if you're not good at an instrument, maybe you're good at singing. If you're not good at singing, maybe you're good at dancing. If you're not good at dancing, maybe you're good at writing. If you're not good at writing, maybe you just like to listen to music.
so what do you think? Like, even if they like listen to music, then that'd be dope if you had like a class where you listen to music, but you have to like dissect it. Like you have to like write on it. You know what I'm saying? Like a journalist class, but it's for music. Or like imagine like, we teach the instruments, and I know we don't have the equipment, but what if they taught like production, right? You know what I mean? Like what if they taught like these different things that's within the music field now, like how to create a song, like how to do these different things. Like in exposure, like where I told you, where after our foundation, we have a music component where the kids actually use the equipment and the kids actually write lyrics and the kids actually get on a song and they put it on iTunes and they love it. You know what I'm saying? Like we was actually nominated for a New York Emmy because of that. Like, because of, the kids using the music. So imagine if we had that in schools where they taught them how to make songs, how to, create the stuff that you listen to.
And I think what's funny is like even hearing you say like teaching kids how to write songs, like that involves English, that involves literacy.
Right.
Like, all the things that you're trying to teach these kids can be taught through art. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like it's so weird that you're pulling these things out of schools when you could be using them in a beneficial way. You know what I'm saying? So that's my goal with the school shit, is really trying to like just change how it's done. You know, I have my kids like we listen to music, and I have them interpret, what does it make you feel? If you like it, tell me why. If you don't like it, tell me why.
Right.
No right or wrong answers.
And you know, like as far as like, I remember one time, like I was in New York and we was trying to get the teachers to buy into what we was doing. Like, you know, we said our film class can help you out, like our film component, our music component, animation component can help with your day school. And they wasn't really with it at first. They were just like, the kids just be playing. Like, nah, like you just have to figure out how to integrate it. Like even when our English person, they was like, want them to write poems. All right, cool, write a poem. So our kids wrote the poem, but we was like, okay, let them read over their poem or speak their poem over an instrumental, right? So it's like a spoken word over a song. And you could tell like they was really into it, right? Because they could hear their voice, they could hear them, and it's like it was poetic, it was beautiful. It was like they making music. And teacher was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We can, you know, input this or, you know, integrate this into what we're doing. And you know, as a form of art. So I think that if we could put art into everything, think about music. You put music to anything, kids go dance. You know, think about all the little videos that get, even with the teachers that went viral, like going back to school, like that's music, that's art, right? So if we can put that into everything, like some form of art into the learning, I think we'd be more successful. We can't teach kids the way that they've been taught like all this time. 21st century kids need 21st century ways of doing stuff. And I think that's the biggest benefit for COVID, like happening. Teachers, you know, we in a classroom and you can hide behind stuff. Meaning if I ain't got nothing, all right, let me get this kid a worksheet, right? And I could work with this kid and y'all just be quiet over there. But when you on that camera, it's all on you. You have to have something for the kids to do for that full time, which means that you have to figure out how to engage them the entire time. So that means it's more work for you, but that's how the kids are going to learn. So I think that teachers are going to see the benefit after this is over, because now they're going to be used to technology, and they're going to be used to trying to engage students for the whole time. So I think that that is actually a benefit in a way.
I Man, I agree with you. Like it's funny. The virtual class feels like hard work, but it's not really hard work. It's just adapting. Like once you get adapted to what you're doing,
Right.
it's
Right.
and 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 I'm not trying to make it seem like super easy or nothing, but it's like, okay, now I have full control. Cause you know, when you're in the classroom, you got kids yelling, you got kids doing different things. Like here, I could just mute your ass and be right here with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we always talk about kids talking, you know, they too loud. Mute. You know what I'm saying? Like you good now. But everything is hard when you first try it. Driving is hard. You scared, right? And then after now, you driving with the seat all the way back, one hand, you ain't got 10 and 2. Like, so, you know, everything is hard until you try. You know what I'm saying? Until you get used to it.
Yeah, man.
So,
Before I let you get out of here, what is one piece of advice you could share with the listeners? Something that you gained during this time in quarantine, the COVID era. What's something that you could share with the listeners?
something I've gained. Uh, uh, I would say, I don't know if it's, I don't know how to say it, but perspective, I guess, in a way, where I'm always on the go, right? Shooting, shooting, shooting. But I realized from March till now, like my daughter helped me realize a lot of things that matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my family is even more important than I even had before, like even thought before. because I haven't spent that gap with y'all, and I spend like every day with her, all the time from March until now, and I see like the bond, you know what I mean? So I feel like I have a even better attachment to her than I did before COVID. So that's making me realize certain things just don't matter, man. Like, life is short. So you always gonna have work. You always gonna have goals, right? And but it's important for you to spend time with your family and your friends and don't just let time pass, kind of just continue to build on those relationships and just kind of realize the things that matter in life. I think that's what helped me. It just to realize like, yeah, I got my goals, I got my ambition, that's never gonna stop. But at the same time, family is important, my time is important, my mental health is important, taking a break is important, not knowing what you're gonna do is it's okay. Like everything is okay. Like um just perspective on everything. I think that's what really helped me during this time. It was always a positive outlook for the most part, but it really just kind of shifted my way of thinking on certain things.
That's what's up, man. Shit, where can the people find you?
They can find me everywhere. You feel me? No, I was playing. They can find me um, on Instagram, Mr. Thomas Invest. Also, my website, investingyourself365.com. That's the hub for everything. So, if you want financial literacy, after school programs, things of that nature, um, that's where you go. And yeah, Twitter, Mr. Thomas Invest. But I guess, like I said, everything is investing yourself 365. And, hit me up from there. I respond to everybody. Not that I got a lot of followers or anything, but I respond to everybody and just, that's where you can see what I'm doing.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you so much for coming on the show.
I appreciate you, brother. Keep doing. I like everything that you're doing. I appreciate like your level of just vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? With everything you do, like that's super dope, and it allows other people to do the same thing. We all going through certain things, so it's important that we have an outlet. And you always speak about yours, and everybody doesn't speak about theirs, right? So a lot of times for me too, when I'm on here, it's a time for me to talk because I don't really speak too much on my social media. Like I post and I have different things, but I don't really speak too much. So being able to have an outlet to speak is dope. So appreciate you.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. Shit, I appreciate y'all listening. This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go. Peace.